Okay, so in this video today, we're going to take a look at a script I created that helps you if you're wanting to create liveries for Flight Simulator 2024. Um, the image format for 2024 is a bit different to 2020. In 2020, we could do our artwork in 2D image editing, like tools like Photoshop, save out as a DDS file, and we were good to go. In Flight Simulator 2024, Asobo switched to using the KTX2 format, which is not something you can export out of image editing software in a form that the simulator can use it, because Asobo expects some additional metadata to be written in there, and that can only be created if the image files are prepared by the Flight Simulator SDK. So we're going to take a look at how to use a script I created, which helps smooth out that process as much as possible. So before we get started, there's a few things you need to have in place first. You'll need Flight Simulator 2024, either Steam or Microsoft Store version, doesn't matter. You'll also need to have the 2024 SDK installed, and you'll need a livery folder structure where you want to create your KTX2 files. So I'm not going to start from scratch in how to create liveries here. The assumption is you know how to do it in 2020, but want some help in creating the KTX2 files for 2024. Okay, now I'll show you how to find and download the script. So just search for it or follow the links in this video. You can find it on flightsim.to or GitHub. I'll show you GitHub here. So if I go back to the main page of GitHub, you'll see there's some instructions. But then if you want to take the downloads, click through to the downloads on the right-hand side here. So pick on source code. That's the file, the zip file we're going to download. Download it anywhere you want. And I'm going to copy it to a different path. I'd suggest not copying it to a very deep path with a long folder structure, because you might run into character limits later on in the process. So here I've just put this on my Q drive in a folder in the root of my Q drive. So unzip the file and then you're good to go. Okay, so let's double click on the batch file to launch it. And at first use, you need to define some settings. So first thing is to edit the SDK path and define that. So we'll press 1 and then type the SDK path. If it works correctly, you'll see it's detected the version of the SDK. Second is choosing our version of the sim, either Steam or Microsoft. So I'm using Microsoft. And then the third and fourth options we'll come back to later. Okay, so back on the main page of my script, you'll see it's saying it can't find any albedo, composite, normal, or decal files. It's looking for them in these 4 subfolders it created. So the next job we have to do is to copy our image or livery artwork into those folders. So here I've got my PNG files. They've got the right file names that the particular aircraft is expecting to find, although the extension will be changed when they go to KTX2. So let's just read these. And what we'll do now is copy them, paste them into the albedo folder that was created by the script. Paste them here, switch back to the script, and we'll need to refresh if we made a change. So Command 6, type that, press enter, and you'll see these 4 files have now been found. That's good news. They are missing an XML file. So the next thing we need to do is create those XML files, which are essential for the SDK to compile your image files into KTX2. So Command 2 here will find all those files and create a corresponding XML file for you. So let's switch back to the script again, and we're ready to run the command to generate KTX2 files. We'll choose Command 4, which will just create them in an output subfolder, which is just going to be another subfolder in our script folder. So after choosing Command 4, you'll see the splash screen appear at the back. You'll see in a minute an additional command prompt window, which is the SDK itself compiling the images we sent it into KTX2 files. So my script will flash up green when it's pretty much done, although you've got a chance to just press one key to clean up temp files. And what it's done here is it's copied the KTX2 files and the corresponding JSON, which is needed by the simulator, into an output subfolder that's in the folder where the script is. So here you can see we've got output created there. So this is the simplest way of using my script. And at this point, you can just go into output, copy your files over into your livery textures folder, and update the livery. So here we'll copy them over to my Piper Cup livery. And we'll browse into the texture folder and paste them here. Okay, so we're nearly done, but we need to update layout.json. And we use the MSFS layout generator.exe file for this. Link is in the description. We'll be needing this later as well. So I just drag and drop that onto the exe, and then let's open the JSON here, and you can see it lists every file in the livery, also their size and the date they were created. Flight Sim 2024 is really picky about the contents of this file being exactly right. If you forget to do this, or the file sizes change, your livery may not work. I'm going to delete, as you can see there, the exe file from the layout.json. It's not really part of the livery. I'm also going to delete the exe because I don't really want this inside my livery folder. But yeah, we're done with that livery now. This should be good to use in Flight Simulator 2024 at this point. However, there's an easier way to do this. So I'm actually going to delete what we've just done here. I'm going to browse to the texture folder. I'm also going to copy the texture path to the clipboard because I know I'm going to need that in a minute. And then let's delete the KTX2 and JSON files from here to get essentially back to where we started. So my script can automate the livery creation to take some of those manual steps out of it. I'm just going to delete the contents of the output folder, and we'll relaunch the script. So it's found all our image files, but we need to go back into edit settings. So I want to use option 5, which is currently grayed out. So I've gone back into edit settings. I need to set setting 3 and 4. So 3 is defining the path to my MSFS layout generator.exe file. So just enter the path itself, not the actual exe. So here, that's all good. And then option 4 is the texture path where you want your livery images to end up. So here, that's why I copied that path earlier. I've pasted this here. It's found the aircraft's layout and manifest files. It knows what the aircraft is. So this just helps you validate you got the path right. So now I can go back to the main menu with option 5. And you'll see the command 5 is now lit up and available. So I can run the exact same command, so command 5, but it does kind of exactly the same thing as we did manually. Here I pushed command 5, and it's just giving us a final confirmation. This is what we want to do. So it's found the layout file, it's found the manifest.json, title of the livery, told it to go ahead. And so as before, we'll see the splash screen open up, and it will create the KTX2 files. But as well as that, what it's going to do is it's going to copy them to the right folder for our aircraft livery. And it's also going to automatically update the layout.json file that previously we did manually. So essentially, it's done all of those steps in one hit. So it's finished. Press a key here. It opens up your texture folder for you. And you can see those files are back in there. Even though I deleted them, it's put them back in there into the texture path. And if we go back up the structure, layout.json, see the time there, 1408. It's been updated to reflect those changes. Here, let's take a look at the livery in action. I've launched Flight Sim 2024, and you can see I didn't need to do anything else to that livery beyond launch 2025. So it was good to go. So hopefully this saves a bit of time for livery artists, avoids some of the manual work and alternative approaches, which seem to be a bit time consuming. So yeah, hopefully you find this video useful. If you have any ideas for further enhancements I could make to this script, just let me know. Always interested to hear that. So leave some comments here or over on my GitHub page for the script or on flightsim.to. Thanks very much.